Hey guys, welcome back to another peachy foundation review. Today we're going to be talking about the new, this foundation is pretty old. It's probably about 1.5 years old. And it's funny because I didn't even really think about it until the other night. Like, holy crap, I have this. But this foundation is probably, I want to say maybe 1.5 years old. It is $20. It's Sephora brand. And honestly, people cannot come to a consensus about how they feel about this foundation because some people say it's really drying, some people say it's really oily. My personal experience with it is that if my face is going through an oily phase, I either have to powder before I put it on and then powder again when I put it on, or I just don't wear it at all. Because trust me, if you have oily skin, this foundation is going to slip and slide across your face. It will transfer. When I first got it, I would wear it constantly, and then summer hit and I couldn't wear it anymore because I'm super oily in the summertime. And somehow or the other, I am a foundation hoarder, so not somehow or the other, it just kind of got left by the wayside as other foundations came and I started wearing them, and I just kind of forgot about that one, which is kind of sad because it's a really good foundation. It gives decent coverage. I'm wearing it right now, which is why you will not see me putting it on, because I put it on and I didn't record myself putting it on. I completely forgot because I just kind of want to talk about it really quick. Sephora US really kind of dropped the ball on this foundation because the undertones are listed incorrectly, and the reason I found that out was because I used this foundation and I was like, wait a second, wait, no, let me back up a little bit. So I had gotten another foundation, I had gotten another foundation online. I had gotten, I forget which one, I think it was a Taunt Ethereal foundation. I had gotten it, and I had gotten it under, I don't remember what shade I got, but I know the undertone that I had gotten was a yellow undertone, because on the Sephora website, undertones are listed with Y, which is yellow, P, which you would think is pink. I'm going to get to that in a minute. And neutral, N for neutral. So I had gotten one that was listed as yellow as the undertone, and I took it home and I used it, and of course it was horrible because it's a yellow undertone and I don't wear that well, so it looked really ashy on me. And I went into the store to return it, and for whatever reason, well, you know, I'm in Sephora, it's like a candy store for me, so I'm walking around and the 10-hour wear had just come out, so I sorry about that, sparkles from my last video are still floating in the damn air. Anyway, so I was walking around and I saw the 10-hour wear foundation and it had just dropped, and so I'm there and I'm swatching, and the shade that I returned, I went and I swatched it in the 10-hour wear, and it was, terrible. But then I swatched, which color is this? I have number 445 Tan Cafe Latte. So I swatched that one and it kind of melted into my skin, and I was like, wait a second, pea on the bottom. So I was like, it's a pink undertone? How does that work? So anyway, I returned the other one, got that one, took it home, put it on. Oh my god, it was beautiful. Like a seamless finish, absolutely gorgeous, very buildable. You can build it from medium coverage all the way up to full. This is fine for me. I don't care for anything more than this. But I took it home and I was so confused. I kept wearing it, but I was really confused. So I went to the Sephora France site, and I looked at it, and I looked at all of the foundations in the line, and compared them to foundations that Sephora in the US has as well. And I'm looking at it and I'm reading the shade descriptions for Sephora France. Now, bear in mind, Sephora is a French company, right? So you would think that whoever is doing the descriptions on the Sephora US site would take the information that's on the Sephora France site and translate it into Sephora US. But I'm reading, and thank God that I can read French, because I'm reading the shades on Sephora France, and then I'm looking at the same shades on the Sephora US site, and they are completely freaking different. So yeah, so I'm looking at the website, and my shade, which is my shade again, Tan Cafe Latte, on the Sephora France site is described as doré. Doré is gold in French, and on the Sephora US site, there's a P next to it. So you think that P means pink, right? Except I realized that it's still golden, but it's a golden peach, and that's what the P stands for. So even in the comments sections, when I'm looking at people who tried the same foundation as me and they're like, oh, it turned me orange, I look like an Oompa Loompa. It's not orange, it's a peach, and it's, if your undertone is not like a golden peach, then yeah, you're gonna look like an Oompa Loompa. But you would think that they would take the time to actually translate things properly so that people wouldn't have to go through that. But no, you know, it's cool. Yellow. Yeah, everything before my color is yellow. Yeah, and all the way up to my sister's shade. My sister uses 35, and my sister is much, much lighter than me. Like, seriously, much lighter than me. She's probably the same shade as It's My Ray Ray, like Ray from It's My Ray Ray. Yeah, that's my sister's complexion, and she uses either 30 or 35. So yeah, I couldn't use that. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this foundation. It is a seamless finish. It's medium buildable to full coverage. If you don't have oily skin, it will last a very long time. If you do have oily skin and you want it to last a very long time, you're gonna have to use some tricks. You can do the powder before you put on your foundation trick, and then powder afterwards. A really good powder for that is this Urban Decay Velvetizer. If you're my complexion, darker, this powder is a wonderful, wonderful powder, because even though it looks like this, it is absolutely colorless. It will keep you matte. You can also mix it into your foundation if you want to. I have done that with a couple of my foundations, but sometimes it can turn them a little bit yellower than what they originally started out as, and also just getting the right ratio is kind of tricky. So I don't know if you want to do that, but you can powder before, powder after, and you'll be good to go. I feel like whoever did the migration and translations for the shades on the Sephora website are so freaking lazy, because a lot of the shades are so mislabeled. Like, I'm looking at the Sephora France site, and a lot of the shades that are listed as doré are listed on the Sephora US site as neutral or yellow, and then you have a lot of shades on the Sephora France site that are listed as rosé, as neutral. So, oh, and rosé is just pink. So, I don't know who the hell did that, but, and it would be one thing if the shades themselves in the same names weren't available on the Sephora France site, then you would think that, okay, well, maybe they're just approximating, but no, literally the very same shades that are on the Sephora France site are listed on the Sephora US site with the wrong undertones. Like, I don't even understand. Like, who does this? That's so trash. On the plus side though, Sephora US does have a lot more shades than Sephora France, which is kind of sad. Okay guys, so a general rule of thumb, if you're going to buy any of these Sephora foundations and you can't get to a store to swatch them before you purchase them, try to keep in mind that the undertones are listed incorrectly in this 10-hour wear foundation. I'm not sure about the others, even though I did check out the ethereal foundation as well on Sephora France with pretty much the same results. So a lot of the shades on the Sephora site that are listed as yellow actually have golden undertones. Some of the ones that are listed on the Sephora, and I'm talking about Sephora US, some of the ones that are listed on the Sephora US site as golden, no, as golden are actually neutral. Some of the ones that are listed as neutral are actually golden, or I think just golden. And then the ones that are listed with a P, which I don't know if Sephora US is using that for peach or using that for pink, but a lot of the darker ones are actually golden peachy undertones. So if you can get into the store to swatch it before you actually purchase it online, try to do that, because you might wind up with something that you thought was the right shade and is completely the wrong shade. People in their loud ass cars, like, what is wrong with you? Anyway, color choices, or not even color choices, undertone choices aside, this is a really good foundation. Like I said, I've had this foundation for a year, so I'm going to throw some swatches up in the end of the video rather than mess up my hands right now, because I do need to go out, so that you can see what it looks like. But yeah, this is an excellent foundation, especially for the price. This is $20, and I think you get less than an ounce, but it's $20. It is oil free. It says it's second skin technology, and I can attest to that. It really does look like your skin. The finish is absolutely beautiful. It is a satin matte finish, but I think that usually when a foundation doesn't have oil in it, it has more dimethicone to provide slip, but I think they may have gone a little bit overboard with the dimethicone, because it can get a little bit oily. But barring that, I did give you some tips and tricks on how to work that out so you can still wear this. But yeah, you know what? That's what it looks like. Alright guys, thanks for tuning into this edition of Peachy Foundation Undertones. Wait, what? No. Peachy Undertone Foundations? Whatever. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.